All right, so looking at 5-3 today. Hopefully we'll get to 5-4. Um, Looking at the second problem. So the first was more of a conceptual problem, so I'll let you guys play with that one. This next one, following situation involves rate of change. Rate of change is the slope. We talked about that last class. That is constant. Write a statement that describes how one variable changes with respect to the other. Give the rate of change numerically and use the rate of change rule to answer any questions. So you run along a path at a constant speed of 5.6 miles per hour. How far do you travel in 1.7 hours and then in 3.7 hours? So which statement describes the situation? So distance traveled varies with respect to the time with a rate of 5.6. Notice how it says hours per mile. Remember we said 5.6 miles per hour. So that means it's going to have to be miles over hour. Now, so they're playing with you, so you got to pay attention. So, mm-hmm. So we're looking at the distance traveled with respect to time with a rate of 5.6 miles per hour. So, and remember, we're going to have in this next question, they're going to give you time and then want to find how far you travel. So we're looking at distance travel with respect to time. And that's 5.6 miles per hour, so that should be good. Yep. And then the next one, what is the distance traveled? 1.7 hours. So you're going to take that 5.6 and multiply it times 1.7. My calculator can work. And rising energy should be 9.52. And then you take that same 5.6, multiply it times that 3.7. 20.72. All right. Questions on what we did there? We just took the 5.6 and multiplied it to each one of these. So, and that, converts it to miles. Let's go to the next one. 5, 10. Okay, so you want to write an equation this time. The following situation can be modeled by a linear function. Write an equation for the linear function to use. Hold on, somebody's trying to get in. All right, to use it as an answer to the given question. So the price of a particular model car is $23,000 today and rises with time at a constant rate of $970 per year. How much will a new car cost in 3.6 years? So notice they give you variables down here. Write the equation used to model the situation where P is price and price of the car in dollars and T is the time in years. So you're going to start off with P is equal, because P is equal to the price. This calculation is going to give you the price in a certain amount of years. You're starting off with 23,000. See, it says the price of a particular model car is $23,000 today. So you're starting with $23,000 and then rises. Now, if it's rising, that means you're going to add or increase to the 23,000. If it said decreases, then you would have did subtraction. All right. And then as it's going to rise $970 per year, and our year variable is T for time. Problems with the setup. Then the price of the car after 3.6 years, you take that 3.6, plug it in to that equation. So 970 times 3.6, that's plus 300, 5792. Oh, I did 2300. That's pretty 23,000. My bad. Hold up. 970 times 3.6 plus 23,000. I didn't think that looked right. So 2, 6, 4. There we go. So all you do is take the 3.6, plug it into this equation. Questions, questions, questions. All right, what was the next one I said I was going to do? Going to 15. See, this one is the same thing, except now you see it says decreases here. So you would use a minus sign. All right, so let's see what's different about this one. I chose this one. $680 washing machine and a laundromat is depreciated for tax purposes at a rate. Now, depreciated means subtraction. It means it's going to decrease at a rate of $85 per year. Find a function for the depreciated value of a washing machine as it varies with time. When does it depreciate? When does the depreciated value reach $0? So, equation line, so in subform, V is our value, and okay, there you go. T is your variable. So let's look at, and you always want to look for the variables that they give you. They give you V for, they end up putting V right here, but you want to look for T. You can't just throw X in there. They want you to use a specific variable. If you were to use X instead of T, then they will mark it wrong, even if you got the equation straight, because they told you to use that variable. So just be careful with that. All right, so we're starting off with the washing machine at $688, and then it's going to depreciate, which means subtract, at a rate of $85 per year. So that's 85T. Before we go to the next one, questions on that? So let me go, to figure out this one, let me go to the notes just to make sure we're good on what we'll do at 680 minus 85T. Share, blah, 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 blah. All right, 154. This is section 5.3. All right, so our equation is V is equal to 680 minus 85T. And they want to know when is the value. Supposed to go here. When is the value equal to 0? So that means you need to plug in 0 for V and then solve. All right, so we can subtract 680 from both sides of our equation. That's negative 680 equal to negative 85T. Then divide by negative 85. T is equal to, my phone will come back on. $680 is 8. All right, questions before we go back to the screen? Not too bad, right?
No, I just wanting you to do a variable, which is like, okay. Now I definitely have to read the blueprint.
Yep, got to pay attention. Got to pay attention to these. They have keywords like, depreciate versus increase. And
I know, I feel like this one's definitely a lot more wordy than the last sections. You know what I mean?
Yep. I completely agree. Yep.
Okay.
Now this we actually went over last class.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was in this section, but I thought it would help me for last section. But anyway, we can still look at it again. Find the slope and the point containing the y-intercept. So your slope, remember we said, is the number that's sitting in front of x, and that's going to be -4. And then what is the point containing the y-intercept? So write it as an ordered pair. I'm pretty sure they want an ordered pair. Remember, if your y-intercept 0, is your x. So we talking about that -10. Can I go to this? No, it won't let me. That -10 is your y-intercept, but as a coordinate, as an ordered pair, 0 will be x. All right. So let me go back to the notes just to make sure we're okay. And don't forget, if my slope is -4, y-intercept is -10, which means that's 0, -10. As a fraction, this is -4/1. That means I will go down 4 and then right 1. So it's a -4/1. So I'm going to graph this y-intercept, and then from the y-intercept, go down 4, right 1. Okay, so let's try it out. So I need my line right here. I'm going to go 0, -10, which is right here. And then from that, I'm going to go 1. Hold up. Oh, we're going by twos. 2, 4. And then right 1, something like that. Hopefully that'll work for me. So it's 2. So I didn't go up good enough. That's oh, no, it was -10. That's right. It was -10. I did +10. That's y'all fault. Y'all didn't tell me.
I wanted to say something.
No. I don't want to hear that now. I don't want to hear that now.
I was scared.
Let's try it again. 2, 4. Yeah, let's see if that'll do it for me. All right, there we go. Everybody want to be right after everybody figure out you're wrong. Yeah.
It's true though. You're like, oh yeah.
All right. Question. So yeah, pay attention to your signs. It just might help. Let's see. I think 33 is the next same thing there. That one, trying to do all your problems for you. One that was similar, a little different.
Like the same though, right? Like the same concept for like.
Yep. And let's see. Refer to the graph sketch to the right. Okay, so this one is easy. But I just want to make sure we know what we're doing. So it says find y when x is equal to 9. I mean x is equal to 6. So you come over here and find 6. I think I can magnify. Yep. So you come over here and find 6 and go up to 5. So when x is 6, y is 5. Well, let me do that. Everybody see that as far as an order pair is concerned? I know I don't have an arrow that I can put up here, but when x is 6, y is 5. And that's all that they're asking of you. All right. Okay, 36. Okay. Now this one, and we're going to see in the next section the way we can actually use these points to find the equation. They really don't want us to, they want us to look at the pattern and say, okay, when you look at x, how do you get y in each case? And then write an equation according to that. So when 0 is x, y is -6. When x is 1, y is -5, and so on. So what you can do is try to figure out a pattern. Anybody see the pattern?
Well, yeah.
So what would be x? Would it be plus something, minus something, 2x? Anybody see anything? That will hold true for all of these scenarios.
God, sorry, my dog. Jesus, I had to put him out.
It's okay. It says when x is 0, y is -6. When x is 1, y is -5. When x is 2, y is -4. When x is 3, y is -3. And then when x is 4, y is -2. Anybody see the pattern?
We multiplying?
It's going down 1 each time. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
So in reference to x though, how do you go from x to x to y? So I went from 0 to -6. I went from 1 to -5. Anybody see it?
I don't know, are we minusing?
Hold on, don't tell us yet, because
Oh, okay, because I was about to write it. I think someone said they didn't know. I was about to give it to you. It's gonna be simple. It's simple. It's real simple. It's real simple.
I know it is. I don't want to say it.
Well, are we subtracting or are we what? Because the negative.
Well, if I tell you, then I might as well tell you. You
No,
tell me.
everybody else in the class, y'all, where at? I don't know. I would think like, I don't know. I'm just subtracting. I mean, 0, 1, what?
Okay. Subtracting what? You gonna give me something? You just throw it.
I was trying to subtracting. I mean, I would think. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
I do want to understand it. So when you do like what? So like.
Oh, so it's -6.
Yeah.
So you
X
want
minus 6.
X is
So
okay.
when X is 0, Y would be -6. And then when X is 1, plug 1 in there. 1 minus 6 is -5. Plug 2 in there. 2 minus 6 is -4. Huh?
I said subtraction. Was I right?
Yeah, but you wouldn't say anything else. So I was like, subtract what? Like,
Yeah.
I kept saying, yeah, like.
I'm stuck through this damn dog. I'm like.
So basically, they want you to see the pattern and try to figure out the pattern. That's all. And they're not going to have any type of complicated patterns. I think one of the other ones said was like X plus 1 when I went in. So, so yeah. So that's what that is. Oh, one more out of this section. Oh yeah, I got plenty of time. 59. I got 59. Okay, here it goes. So now this one, they didn't give us what our equation as y equals. So they are expecting you to solve this. Notice what they're asking you for is the slope and the y-intercept, which is what they asked from us before. But when your equation is not solved for y, you have to solve it for y. So I just want to make sure that we're okay with that before we go to 5-4. Y'all should be okay with that. Y'all pros at this though. So 3y 2x minus 21. So we have 3y equal to 2x minus 21. So we want to solve it for y. Oh, all we would do is divide 3 into both sides. Don't forget though that this 3 goes to each term. So y is equal to 2 over 3x minus 21 over 3. And that's 2/3 x minus 7. All right. So what's in front of x is your y-intercept. That'll be 2/3, and then your slope, not your slope. What's in front of x? Let me go and start from the beginning. What's in front of x is your slope. That's 2/3, and then your other number is your y-intercept, which will be -7. All right. So let's go ahead and plug it in. Slope is 2 divided by 3. And then -7. Oh, no. I think they want the order. Yep, type as an order pair. So make sure you pay attention to those directions. 0, comma, -7. Close out the parentheses. And there you go. Questions. And then you graph like we talked about before. Graph the y-intercept, go up 2, right 3.
Go ahead and do it, though. Let me see it.
See, you know what?
Don't we ask much, Mr. Tucker?
So 0, -7 is down here. And then you go up 2 and then right 3. That should be it.
Okay.
Let's make sure, yep, there we go. All right. So as always, don't want to do all of your problems, but that should be enough to get you going. As far as anything that we mentioned in this section, questions before we look at 5-4. All right, so I wonder if, no, let's do this. See if it'll switch it for me. I didn't let me do it. Okay. All right. So got a lot of stuff in my way. There we go. So 5-4 linear regression. Once you create a scatter diagram is pretty much just plotting these points and giving yourself something to analyze when it comes to comparing data sets. So in statistics, you can use scatter diagram. Notice that it's only in quadrant 1. We only use quadrant 1 to graph these points. Most of the time when you're looking at scatter diagrams, you're only using that quadrant, that first quadrant. All right, so you would just plot those points. And it looks like D is the one that works for us. Yep. And this one was, fairly simple because if you look at the first point is 119. The only one that's 119 is right here at D. So they kind of helped us out there.
Yeah, that's good. That's for real.
Yeah. Right. So you may not have to even graph all those points. And then it says X and Y are the variables X and Y linear related, approximately linear related, or neither. So, linear keyword there is line. So you want to know, are these points close to forming a line? And I would say they're linear related. Nope, it was approximate then. So yeah, approximately linear related. If it was evidently they're looking for the complete straight line. So if you look at A would be exactly linear related. So A in that graph would have been linear related. And then C, if you look at C and how it's more like a arc or arch, that would have been not linear related. Y'all see the difference? So B and D though would have been approximately linear related.
Right.
A would have been linear related, and then C would have been not linear, not related linearly, if I can say it right, but y'all know what I mean. All right. Questions on the difference? All right. And then draw a line that comes close to the points in your diagram. So first thing you do is recognize what D looked like. If neither one of these look like D, you can't, D is your original graph, and they want you to draw a line through it, so that should be A. Just want you to draw a line through it as a summary of the linear relationship. All right, so then it says select the correct point. What is it? Okay, which point on a line has x coordinate 8? So you may have to, let me see if I can magnify this. Yep. So you look at 8, and it goes up to 4. And it says type as an ordered pair. So that's 8, 4. Make sure we're all right with that. Then it says which point has y coordinate 8. So you go back to the one you chose. So the y coordinate being 8 would be at 6. So that'd be, now remember, if y is 8 and x is 6, that means, don't forget, ordered pair 6 comes before 8 because x comes before y. So it's going to be 6, 8. All right, problems with that before we look at F? All right, now they want the coordinates of your y-intercept. Don't forget, your y-intercept is when x is equal to 0. So go back to your graph. X is equal to 0 up here at 20. So that y-intercept is going to be 0, 20. All right. And then your y-intercept is when y, I mean, your x-intercept is when y equal to 0. So go back. When y is 0, it's down here, and that's going to be 10. So that's 10 comma 0. All right, questions on that first one before we walk away from it? All right. Next one is yep, it's this one. Okay, so let's look at this. Create the scatter diagram. So just like before, and then also make sure you pay attention to the variables. Oh, I'm about to say, am I recording? I am recording, right? Yeah, okay. I'll say, oh no, said a lot. So let P be the percentage. Come on, go back up. So let P be, okay, my stuff not coming back. Hold on 1 second. I need to get this off of here. Okay. Let P be the percentage of dentistry degrees by women, T years since 1970. So make sure we see that these 0 through 40 down bottom represents years since 1970. So 10 actually represents 1980. 20 represents 1990, and so on. So that represent years since 1970. So 1970 would be 0, and that is at 3. And then 80 at 10, you should have 15. All right. So trying to find one that fits. Look like A is it. Yeah. So remember, you don't have to plot every single point. You just have to make sure that at least the first couple of them fits your coordinates, and more than likely the other ones aren't going to fit. So they didn't try to really run you through the ringer with that. All right. So then once before, just like before, they want you to draw a line to best summarize your graph, and look like this one is A again. Remember, you have to use this one up here and then see which one down here, matches this, but with a line through it. All right. So predict the percentage degrees that will be earned by women in 2010. So 2010 would be how many years from 1970? That would be 40 years from 1970. So we go to this right here, and we know 40 is over here at the end, and this is saying 50. All right. I don't know if y'all can see that dot that I'm trying to put up here, but 1940 is all the way to the far right, and if you go up to where it meets in your graph is at 50. So it should be 50 down here. Let's see. Yep. Then it says estimate when women earn 20% of dentistry degrees. So now we're going to go 20 on this left side. 20 is Y or your P, and see where it meets. And that is close to, it's 1980, so it'll be 1990. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on a second. Let me go back. So that 10, 1980. That should be, no, because this is 70, 75, 80, 85. So it's close to 85. Let's try 84. 1984. Yeah, there you go. So it's just, you had to get close to it. Questions on that? Just basically reading the graph and paying attention to what they're asking of you.
Yeah. I wish we would have done the hard. I feel like this is so much harder than last time.
So you wanted to do this one last time? What are you saying?
Like, you know how we did chapters 1 through 3 first? I wish we would have done these chapters first.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Which is fine. It's totally fine, but I'm like, wait a minute.
I'm sorry, they didn't set it up that way.
It's okay.
I just do what they tell me.
No, it's
So here, without graphing, estimate the coordinates of the t-intercept for a line. Basically, you want to know when is your y going to be 0. So you're going to have to compare these values over here to what's going on in this chart to the left. So notice you want to know when is your right coordinate 0. It goes from -34, -29, -18, -10. We're talking about the right coordinate. -3, then it goes from -3 to 3. So in between those two values is when that right coordinate would be 0. So if you go to the left, that would be in between 9 and 13. Everybody see that? Make sure we're okay. So what value is in between 9 and 13? That would be 11. So 11, 0 would be that coordinate. Everybody okay with that? Before we do the opposite, we do the left side. So with B, we want to know when is the left side going to be 0. Notice -5 and 3. In between -5 and +3 is where you will get a 0 coordinate for that left side. So then you look at the right side, we have -18 and -10. What value is in between -18 and -10? And that would be -14.
Okay.
That's the only, like for each case, there's only one coordinate that fits, fits that criteria. So
Crazy. That's so crazy. This is crazy.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I never expect you.
But is everybody okay with that? You comparing the numbers before I go to the next one?
Yeah.
All right. So let's try this one. So due to a crackdown on fraudulent corporate reports, the number of reinstatements, not reinstatements, but restatements of facts in such reports has increased approximately linearly from 406 restatements in 2004 to 1793 restatements in 2006. Let N be the number of restatements. I wonder if I'm saying that right. Restatements or statements. Anyway, in the year that is T years since 2000. Find an equation of a linear model to describe the data. Sounds like fun, right? So let's go ahead and go to the notes for this one. All right. So N is going to be equal to, why is this up? There you go. Oh, was it N or T? Oh, no. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. So N is the number of restatements. T is the number of years since 2000. So let's look at what they give us. T and then N. So they give us 406 restatements, 2004. 2004, 406, and then 1793, 2006. All right, so that's the given information that they have given us. Now, going back to our variables, we have to convert that because N is fine, but T is the number of years since 2000. So the actual information that we'll use is 4 for 2004, and then 6 for 2006. All right. First thing we'll do is find the slope, which we talked about last class. Remember that is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Once again, decide which one you're going to call point 1. I'll call this point 1, call this one point 2. So y, and in this case, we're looking at this being y, this being x. So that's 406. I'll stick with the 2. Let's go 1793 minus 406 over 6 minus 4. Mm-mm-mm. 1387 divided by 2, 693.5. So that's a slope. Come on, man. All right. Not sure if we used this formula last class. We used the point slope formula. Now that you have your slope, you can use the point slope formula. That's y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. And we're going to use the slope that they gave us, which is 693.5. Not the slope that he gave us, the slope that we calculated. And we can just go ahead and use x1, y1. But remember that it doesn't matter which point you use. Both of these points lie on the same line. So you can use either one. But since I've already labeled 4 and 406, x1, y1, I'll go ahead and stay to that, stay true to that. And I plug them in accordingly. Y1 is 406. Slope is 693.5. And x1 is 4. So keep in mind when you're doing your plugin, you're plugging in for y1, m, and x1. Distribute. Times 4, 2774. And then you can add 406 to both sides. $693.5 minus 2368. All right, before I switch back to our homework screen, question. Oh, I left off. My bad, I left off X. Should be 693.5X. Now, if we want to write it in terms of what they gave us, we go back to our variables when we were using T and N. So it actually should be when we go back, when we look at our options. Should be a T for the X and N for where Y is. So let's go back to the share, to the homework. So it's 693.5 T minus 2368. All right, questions before we look at the next one. That's 549. Okay, 5420. Same thing. Still same thing. Want to make sure we're clear here with function notation. Did we talk about that earlier part of, I think that was early part of the semester, function notation. So here they give you an equation, P is equal to 0.77t minus 43. Say again? You faded in and out. Is that me? Is that me or her? Can y'all hear me okay? Hello? Oh, I hope that's not me.
Maybe it's his Cox internet. I don't know.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You can hear me now? Okay. All right. So now somebody was saying something. Was that you?
Yeah, I thought it was. I had seen that a problem around that, like P or D or T in it, like section 2 or 3, somewhere around there.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about the function motion.
Yeah, function notation. Okay, so I must have my internet must have faded out as soon as I started talking about function notation. All right. Okay, cool. As long as I didn't miss much. All right, so here we have P equal to 0.77t minus 43.18, and they want us to write it in function notation. So it says rewrite that with function name f, choose the correct answer. So it's not going to be f of p, because p is what we're going to substitute in for f. It's going to be f of t, and you know t is the variable that we plug in. So everything should be the same, 77t minus 43.8, but then it should be f of t. So that should be b. And then here, it wants to plug in 112 into the function. Times 0.77 minus 43.18. 43.06. All right. Interpret result. According to the model, birth years will be outside of the round to the nearest year as needed. All right. So I didn't look and see what this stuff represents. P births outside of marriage. T years since 1900. So the model's 112. So about 43.06% of births in the year will be outside of marriage. So you add that 112 to 1900. Remember, that's what T represents when you go up here. So it should be 2012. And that's all it is. All right. So you just go through answering the questions. This next one, and let's get putting this at 10 out of 13. So I answered this one. Then, like I said, I don't like to take away all of your homeworks without you guys getting a chance to try. So this next one, it says, notice, find the value of T so that f of T is equal to 51. So our equation is 0.77T. Got f of T is equal to 0.77T and minus 43.18. And they gave us f of T is equal to 51. And just making sure I did share it. Yep. So that means I'm going to take 51 and plug it in where I see f of T and then solve it. So that's 51 equal to 0.77T minus 43.18. So we'll add 43.18 to both sides. Cancel. That'll be 94.18 equal to 0.77T. Then divide by 0.77. They cancel. T is equal to 22.3117. So let's see what they tell us to round to. Round to 2 decimal places. 122.31. Yep. So they wanted 2 decimal places. So then 122.31 as an answer. All right. Questions. Anybody?
Other than just needing to honestly get in there and did.
Yeah. Some questions may not come up until you get in there. So, So next class, I will open up the floor for questions first before we do anything else.
Okay.
And if you have any questions that are generated over the weekend, it'll be the time to go ahead and get them out of there. And, before we move forward, we'll look to do anything else.
Yeah, definitely.
So don't forget, y'all, this is our last full month together. So
Yeah, I
once we
know.
get out of, and really it's not even a full month because we're going to lose a whole week, because of Thanksgiving.
Right.
So now as far as lecture is concerned, but of course you still have that time if you want to grind and do work. So take advantage of that free week of not seeing me, I should say.
How do we know other than because our grade doesn't show in Canvas? When is our grade going to show in Canvas? Ever? Is it ever?
Nah, your grade. No, that's extra work for me. You talking about your grade is in my math lab. So what we could do is if you actually want a precise grade as to where you may, because okay, this is how my math lab works. All right. So your grade in my math lab, your actual grade will be higher in my book than in my math lab if you've done everything you're supposed to do. And what I mean by that is that my math lab doesn't count anything against you if you haven't made an attempt. So that means, let's say if you have a test and you have not made an attempt on the test, my math lab doesn't count it against you. Well, I'm gonna count it against you because that's a 0. You know what I mean? So if you do everything you're supposed to do, my grade will be higher than what's in my math lab.
So how, I kind of want to know what my grade is so I could, because you said we can do extra assignments for extra credit, or what did you say?
Yeah, when you talk about those Excel assignments.
Yeah, so I don't know what my grade is, so I don't know if I need to do.
Oh, well, some people know. Yeah, some people know. So you might not know because you've been doing your work, but there's some people that know.
But I want an A, so I want to know.
Well, don't forget that your first priority to getting an A is to at least get a solid grade on that test. Because remember, we only have 2 tests.
Yeah.
So if you want an A, you want to at least get an 85.
Okay.
At least an 85. I think, as far as my tests are concerned. Huh?
On the midterm that we did?
Yes. So the lowest test average that you can have and still get an A would be an 85. And then the other things can bring that grade up to a 90, which is the lowest A you can have. So that's your first priority, is to get an 85 on that test.
I already got it.
Say again?
I'm pretty sure I already have.
But go ahead and brag about it, girl.
I'm not. I just really want to know.
Wow.
So I'm telling you, this is how you do it. So if you have an 85, and then the next test you want to score at least 85 as well. So if you have at least that 85, and then if you've done everything else you're supposed to do, then you're gonna get an A out of the class.
She's gonna pass. Don't even
I'm definitely not bragging. I pay a tutor.
See, she has been recorded and has admitted to cheating. She said she's paid somebody to take her test for her. So everybody heard it and it's recorded. I just want y'all to know.
Well, that's not good.
False statement.
Fake news, right? Fake news. Did somebody
Is
call
the
my
review
name?
quiz our real quiz?
Review quiz?
Yeah,
No, that's
like
a part.
the
That's a
quiz?
part of your assignment. You're talking about the stuff that's in between, your homeworks and the end of the chapter or end of the section.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a part of your assignments. It's part of your homework.
Okay, so that's counted as a quiz?
I would just count it as a part of your homework because I'm not really proctor and anything like that. So the way I do my work is that you guys have 3 major categories. You have your homeworks, your Excel, and your tests.
Mhm.
So I count that as a part of your homework grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Excel is the quiz?
No, I don't really do quizzes because quizzes to me are just ways of failing people. Like legit quizzes are like they give you 5 questions. Then you miss one, that's 20 points off. Then you already at an 80. Then you miss another one, that's 60. So I don't really do quizzes per se. I just do pretty much homeworks. And then in this class, we have Excel assignments. And then you have your tests. You have your 2 tests.
All right.
Yep. All right. Anything else? Anybody else?
Well, wait, I got to ask you one more thing. So you're
Yes,
saying
sir.
that the Excel does not go down as a quiz grade?
No, that's the actual just an Excel grade that will have its
Oh,
own
all right.
percentage. Yeah. So I forgot what percentage. Let me look what percentage I said it would be in your midterm, and then I can let you guys know next class. I forgot because like I said, this is my first time teaching this course, so I forgot what percentage I actually assigned to my Excel. But those are the 3 major assignments: your homework, your Excel, and then your tests. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you just want to assign, like, because I know normally in classes you have quiz grades, then your Excel would take the place of quiz grades.
Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Anybody else? And if anybody, is concerned about where they stand or where I would say they are currently, then always feel free to email me. And we can go for there. But I did give you a gauge as far as if you're trying to get an A out of course, your first goal is to make sure you have that at least an 85 for your test. I think for a B is 75. I have to do some calculation to quote, but I know most people always asking about A, so that's why that's always in my head. But I think 75 if you're trying to get a B, but around that. And and then do everything else, and that'll pull your grade up to that next level grade.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else before we close?
Oh, good.
All right. Sounds good. You guys have a great weekend. Be safe.
Do the same.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'll see you
too.
guys on Monday. Take care.
Y'all next week.
All right.
All right. See y'all later.
All right.